Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a deal of thought into happiness that you are giving." I believe this quote encompasses card making perfectly because it shows that you put thought and effort into something that you have given to somebody. My goal today is to give a general overview of the hobby of card making. I have a keepsake box of little trinkets that I've kept over the years, and when I look through that box, I realize that most of the things I keep are greeting cards that people have given me. So today I'm going to show you the basic design elements of a card, materials needed to make a card, and some advice on how not to allow the hobby of card making to become very expensive. A greeting card has 4 simple design elements. It's size, layout, sentiment, and embellishment. Most card crafters will use an A4 sized card because you can get 2 A4 sized cards out of a single piece of 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Now, to compare that, a card that you get from a regular store is usually an A7 card, and that is 5 inches by 7 inches. So there's a considerable difference in size. Now, cards are laid out into 2 basic forms. There's usually a single fold card for a novice card maker. It's going to be laid out in a portrait style, which the fold is on the side and it opens from the side. Or it's going to be laid out in a landscape file where the top is where the fold and it's going to open. So the sentiment of a greeting card is just your basic reason that you're giving the card, what you're trying to convey. And it can be as simple as something as happy birthday or as extravagant as a poem that you have written for the recipient. Now the embellishment, that's the fun part of a card. It's that little wow factor. It's what you put on the card to make it stand out. And it can be bows or ribbons and glitter, rhinestones, anything, a picture that you want to put on this card to make it just special for the person that you're giving it to. Now, we've explained the basic design elements of a card, so let's talk about the materials that you need to make a card. It's a very simple list. All you need is paper, an adhesive, something to measure, and something to cut, and a pen to write your sentiment. You can find most of these items at your house. My favorite card maker, Maymay from maymaymadeit.com, has a saying, "Let the paper do the work for you." And for a novice card maker, what that means is that if you find a nice decorative piece of paper, it will do most of the work in decorating the card for you. While there are hundreds of adhesives on the market, all of those adhesives pretty much fall into 2 categories, a wet glue or tape. Now wet glue is good because if you're trying to adhere an embellishment to your card, it gives you a little bit of time to put some wiggle room into it. So if you don't get it just perfect, you have a little bit of time. And glue and tapes are perfect because they add stability and strength to your card. So there are many types of rulers and scissors and pens and markers on the market, and I would tell you, don't go and buy anything. Use what you have around the house and just use what you're comfortable with. Now that we've talked about the design elements and the basic materials that you need for a card, we're going to talk about some pitfalls that people fall into when they take card making as a hobby. It can get very expensive very quickly. First, don't be tempted to buy every cool gadget that you see a YouTube person using, okay? So be wary when you see a creator say, "This is my new favorite ... You have to watch a couple of their videos and make sure that they're using that particular gadget over and over again, because it's not going to be worth your money. You have to think about it. Do you really want to spend $25 on a rubber stamp of a tree? How many Happy Arbor Day cards are you going to make? Secondly, don't buy something unless you have a specific use for that item. Do not go to the craft store and look for inspiration. Go to the craft store with something in thought that you are going to use, because when you walk in that craft store without a list, you're going to come out with hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. Trust me, I know. So, and lastly, be creative. Every card that you see creators on YouTube or Pinterest make, you can usually figure out how to make it without buying a fancy or expensive gadget. So in conclusion, I hope I've achieved my purpose of giving a basic overview of card making as a hobby. We've discussed a few design elements of cards, materials needed to make cards, and pieces of advice on how not to let card making as a hobby get so expensive. According to the article, Design Elements of a Greeting Card on lifewire.com, a greeting card can be as simple as a piece of paper folded in half with what's up on the inside. But where's the fun in that? I hope you will look into card making as a hobby and a way to give joy to others. And thank you so much for your time. Done.
I hate to have you go after it.
All right.
Okay.